Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Laura's Soap Delight. Today we'll be reviewing organic beer soap. For this soap, we've used the Mill St Brewery Original Organic Lager. If you want to know how to add beer to the lye solution without it having heating up and overflowing and making a disaster zone, stay tuned until the end. We have blended our organic oils and butters together and we're ready to add the lye solution. The lye solution has silk fibers for silkiness and salt to add hardness to the soap, humectation to the skin, and exfoliation properties. We're mixing together until we reach light trace. I don't want to reach full trace yet. I'm going to pour some on the side and mix it with titanium dioxide. We want to achieve an off-white color that will represent the foam on top of the beer. This will be on top of the last layer, and hopefully when we cut it, it will look foam-like. We're going to mix it together and achieve trace with it. Make sure that it is nice and incorporated and there's no pieces of the titanium dioxide left behind in the solution. I'll take this opportunity to talk about titanium dioxide. If you inhale titanium dioxide, it's quite carcinogenic, which is why it is highly encouraged to use a mask when dealing with the powdered version of titanium dioxide, like we did in this video. Also, there is a question as to whether or not nanoparticles of titanium dioxide are carcinogenic. There is not enough research to suggest one way or another. The truth is that nanoparticles are about 1,000 times smaller than the normal non-nanoparticles. This means that there is a possibility for them to cross the skin-blood barrier. So when you are buying anything like sunscreens or soaps, make sure that they're using the non-nanoparticles. Make sure that you're staying safe and educated on the products that are going into your skincare. All we have left to do now is make sure that both of our separate colors reach trace. So we're just going to blend them together until they're nice and leave that little streak on top. Once we are done, we are ready to pour into the mold our first layer. Now it's time to fully mix the last layer and get ready to pour on top of the mold. As you can see, I'm going very slowly when I'm pouring the white part. The reason is I don't want to break that film between the first layer and second layer. Because I just poured the first layer, it's still quite sensitive to whatever you put on top. So if I go slowly, the idea is it won't break it through and it'll remain quite separated. As we finish that last layer, we start to think on how we are going to make it look foam-like. What I've done to achieve that look was to flick it with the end of the spatula. It has a hole in the handle which allows the end of the soap to flick up. Kind of looks like waves to give us that look of foam. Once I was done with this design, I sprayed it with 91% of alcohol. One of these went into the freezer and the other one stayed outside. When they go into the freezer, they don't gel, which means that there's a change in the color. The color is much lighter. Once they stay outside, they do gel and the color is much stronger and the soap is shinier. So I wanted to see the difference that it would make with this soap. And now 3 days later, I am ready to cut it. The texture of this soap is quite sticky, so I'm curious to see how it's going to turn out. As always, if you like the video, leave a thumbs up and a comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. Now let's talk about the lye solution. If you measure out your lye and pour beer on it, the lye will react with the sugar in the beer and is going to produce a lot of heat to the point where the solution will boil over any container you have it in and start pouring out. That is quite dangerous solution to clean up. As you know, lye is quite corrosive to the skin. What I have done is boil the beer until the gas is all gone. You know that it's gone when you start to mix it and you don't see any bubbles forming. Once that solution has cooled down, I put it in the freezer and let it freeze over. When I'm ready to make my soap, I measure out my lye and I add a little bit of water. Now remember, you're gonna have to do a water discount for this. In my case, I put 60 ml of water, my silk fibers, and my salt. As always, that lye solution is gonna generate heat and it's gonna melt my fibers. Once everything has been melted over, it will be time to add the frozen beer. Add it slowly, make sure that the lye is not burning the beer. You will notice this as the color starts to turn darker because it's getting caramelized. You don't want that. So slowly add it and mix it until you have achieved your lye solution. Ellen Ruth's soap gave me that idea, so I will link down her soap below.